What's up, dudes? My name is Nick. Welcome back for another news video. This is like 3 news videos in a row for me, which is interesting, but there's been a pretty decent amount of relatively big news to talk about for the, at least for this last week of 2018. So it's very awesome. The big news, which I've been like teasing and I've been saying that I was going to talk about on Twitter like for the last 3 days, and I said I'm going to upload my T-Ara news video today, and then I didn't. And then the next day I was like, I'm going to do it today, and then I didn't. But now we're going to be talking about the fact that T-Ara has left MBK Entertainment, and well, I don't know technically. They haven't like disbanded, because I think they still do want to make music together and remain as a group, but it's just a great time, I say, in general, for fans of T-Ara, especially because they're not really fans of the entertainment company that they were formerly signed to. And well, it's a good thing for K-pop too, because then you get to just unleash T-Ara to do whatever they want to do now, which is also going to be very, very interesting to time coming up in the future. So basically, which it actually ended up being a good thing that I didn't upload this video as soon as I had intended, because there was a little bit of news that kind of came out after the fact that it was announced that they'd officially left, which made it a little bit more interesting. Although that news is a little irrelevant, because it's kind of expected to, it's kind of, the news was a little expected. So it's really kind of, reporting and people making a big deal potentially out of nothing. But back in December, the exclusive contracts, I guess, with some of the members of T-Ara finally were, expired with MBK. They didn't sign them. And then it was just now recently announced that they had officially left the group, and that they would not necessarily be disbanding as a group, which is, really, really exciting. T-Ara has gone through a pretty decent amount of stuff over their career, which has hindered their success as a group, which they potentially could be, a much more notable group in K-pop than they are currently. Not to say that they're irrelevant or that they haven't had a really big impact and influence and, just made a really, really big name for themselves. But, they definitely could be at a completely different level now if, things in their past hadn't happened, and just in general, from fans' perspective as well, that MBK Entertainment had been a better company for them, which I don't really have any sort of strong opinion on that one way or another, because I'm not really up to date with all of this stuff surrounding T-Ara. But fans are definitely happy for the fact that they have the potential to go out and either manage themselves or go out and find someone who's going to do who's going to manage them much better than they have in the past. Me personally, I'm just happy for the fact that T-Ara is out from MBK Entertainment and they get to release their own music. It's going to be a really, really interesting kind of thing to follow that and see how it goes. It was like, just like it's been really interesting to see, how Beast has re-debuted, I guess, or reformed as Highlight outside of Cube, and they've kind of, well, they've changed up their image from, what I had kind of known Beast to be. They've gone for something that's very much different. So what is T-Ara going to do in the future when it comes to like their next release, like this year or whenever it is that it happens? I have, no idea what it is going to be, but I'm definitely very, very interested in it, because, I kind of have an image, I've kind of some of the releases that T-Ara has put out over the last year have kind of shaped a little bit of, their image. Every group does it. Everyone kind of follows a set path, and they develop a sound and an image and a persona that they want everyone to like them for. And T-Ara has done that, and now is the opportunity for them to potentially, reimagine themselves as a group and do something that is very much different from what they do. Like, maybe they're going to actually whip out some key point dances that are not super basic that everyone can dance to. Maybe they're going to throw down some crazy choreo during the choruses that like nobody can follow. Like that was a quality that people really, really like about T-Ara, with the fact that their choreography for the most part is really simple and really basic, because then everyone can do it. But at the same time, I'm more impressed by when, people throw down and, do backflips and spin on their head and do all kinds of stuff like that. That's really cool. But you don't have to do anything. It's your own style of, it's your own creative style. We're going to leave it up to the members of T-Ara to decide what they want to do with that, and what kind of music they want to do, what their sound is going to be, what their image is going to be, whatever it is. I'm definitely excited and very interested to hear it. The final bit of news that followed the announcement that they had left the company was the fact that MBK Entertainment basically filed for their trademarks on everything relating to T-Ara, whether that's the music, the name, the branding, the merchandise, anything T-Ara. MBK is like, you cannot use that because that is ours. We made that, that's ours. And that's pretty typical. That's nothing to be outraged about, to be completely honest, because MBK Entertainment has rights to that, I think, before the members of T-Ara do, just in a business sense and a legal sense, because MBK created that, intellectual property. They created the branding for T-Ara. They created the visuals for the music videos. They wrote the music. They just built all of that T-Ara image. They created the name itself, and so they own that. That's their intellectual property that doesn't necessarily belong to the members of T-Ara in a legal sense. So if the members of T-Ara really want to come back under a different company or under self-management as T-Ara, then they're going to have to fight MBK Entertainment for it. They're going to have to buy that intellectual property off of them so that they can use it. They have to, basically buy the rights, or they license the rights to use it, whichever way that they want to do it. There's potentially multiple options if they want to use that name. But at the same time, there's some people who are probably looking at this, which I didn't really read any sort of news or opinion pieces on this. I just read the headlines on it. But that this is the attempt from MBK to kind of kill the group after the fact. And, that's I guess it's kind of true, because, the name recognition and the brand recognition is very, very important in K-pop. That's why you get groups that promote endlessly. And then when groups don't promote endlessly, then fans get upset, because, then they feel like they're not becoming popular, they're not being promoted, and they're falling behind with other groups. So the name recognition and the brand recognition and just being known to K-pop fans at large, or in general, is something that's really, really important. And that's something that T-Ara is going to lose if they can't use, if they have to release music under a different name, similar to Beast. Beast, super, super well known. Highlights, not as well known as Beast to K-pop fans. It's obvious, right, that if I was going to ask a K-pop fan, that someone who just started listening to K-pop within the last 2 years, right, who Highlight was, or if they knew anything about the past for Highlight, they probably aren't going to say anything about oh yeah, aren't those guys Beast, and all of these Beast songs that are really, really good, and they're pretty well known and a staple of K-pop over the last 7-9 years. No newer K-pop fans are really going to recognize that or think about that. So all of that history that these girls have as T-Ara, all of their achievements and all of that stuff, is going to get forgotten. And they're going to be the casual fans of T-Ara who aren't really super following them that closely, that when they re-debut as anybody else, or under a different name, they're not gonna pick up that the re-debut isn't going to show up on those casual fans' radar. They're gonna just kind of slip even lower than they are now. But to kind of counter that, and going similar back to my point, or what I'm really, really interested in for this group, is that this is the opportunity for them to kind of restart what they're doing. Now, they're not going to restart, of course, at absolute zero like they did when they first debuted. To a certain extent, they're going to have a pretty strong and passionate fan base, because their fan base is pretty wild when it comes to the support of the group. And just the adversity and the kind of the distrust and the dislike of the way that the company's treated them and managed them has kind of really solidified the community and the solidarity that a lot of the fans feel as they support the group, to kind of just try and pick up the slack that the company's not taking care of. And that's really, really cool. I think that's really awesome. And I think that those fans and the core diehard fans that are, banded together like that pretty consistently to, support the girls in just about any way that they possibly can, whether that's a big way or a small way, they're going to do something that's going to, provide a really, really good foundation for, the T-Ara girls going forwards to do something really, really cool and really awesome. They're going to have a relatively successful career. you know, but the losing the T-Ara, you know, IP, it's going to hurt them in the, you know, in the short term, but in the long term, it's potentially going to pay off for them in a pretty decent way. Or, you know, they're not, I mean, at this point, they were never going to be, you know, superstars of K-pop. Like, no matter if they retained the T-Ara name and branding or not. Like, if they were to continue as T-Ara, they wouldn't be reaching the top levels of K-pop, you know, anytime soon. As far as like being, I don't want to use the word relevant because people absolutely hate that. People will fight me over that. But, you know, being, you know, super relevant, or I guess prominent, I should say that, more well known, have that, you know, the brand awareness, I guess you can say, in comparison to other girl groups in K-pop that have, you know, through 2017, 2018, you know, T-Ara is just not going to be able to compete, and they haven't been able to compete for the last couple of years, you know, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a criticism of them either. You know, that's of course a little bit that's definitely, you know, the fault of the entertainment company. And now that they've kind of thrown them aside, and now they're doing stuff on their own, then they potentially have the potential to actually like put some serious good work down, and, you know, build up their reputation again back to where it was in the past, which the company like just completely neglected to do over the last couple of years, as their fans just clamored for it and they asked for it, and just like put in some work and we will support them and make them popular again. And, you know, it just, the company just, I guess, didn't have the interest in doing that. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm very excited to see what happens in the future with these girls. I just about said guys, with these girls, whether they come back as T-Ara, which they probably won't, or they come back as a different name, similar to how Beast has re-debuted as Highlight. So that's all I got to say about this. I'm just my thoughts. I'm going to share what you guys have got to say, or I want you guys to share your thoughts and opinions on this down below. A question for you guys is like, do you necessarily care if they keep the T-Ara name or not? Like, is that something that is super important for you, or is it more important to just support the group, you know, the members on an individual basis, or the members as a group? Let me know whatever your answers to that, you know, question are down in the comment box below. Don't be afraid to share whatever your thoughts and opinions are, no matter what they are, because this community that we're trying to build here is all about having some free and open discussion about what it is that we think, no matter what it is. So if you're interested in joining that community, then please do consider clicking on the subscribe button down below. And if you want to stay updated with everything that I upload in the future, click on that bell icon to turn notifications on. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.